on. Yay, okay, we're back. And it's The Insider. We're talking about The Insider. Do you have the energy to talk about The Insider?
I'll try to pull it together.
All right. So you just saw this last night?
I've seen it before, but I rewatched it last night.
Yeah, okay. So that's my point, is that it's fresh in your memory.
Yes.
So the Insider, I'm going to tell everybody this. When I was shooting Crossed, I started smoking really heavily. And I'd always smoked throughout my life. Kind of like, just, people say like, oh, social smoker. But really what that means is they buy like about a pack a week. Social smoker.
Oh, I thought you were talking about poles. You were talking about cigarettes.
Poles. Oh, geez. You got me. Smoking poles.
Burned.
This is a man from the 70s here. John Travolta. But, hey, this guy's smoking poles. But then during the shooting, like it was a pack a day for sure. And then when I was doing pickups, because in California we were shooting on a ranch mostly, and it's illegal to like smoke outside of designated smoking areas because there's such a fire hazard, because like the whole fucking place is just basically dry tissue paper, like essentially dry hay, tinderbox. And so then when I was doing pickups in a place that didn't have those kinds of limitations, I was smoking like a lot of cigarettes. Like I was smoking like more than a pack a day, just chain smoking, just hacking butts because I was very stressed out. I was on, during those times I wasn't on any drugs, but it took me a while to like, after the production was over, I kind of couldn't get off smoking cigarettes again. Like I kept going. And when it was time for me to do like editing, I would do the same thing. I'd buy like a pack of cigarettes and I would like edit a little bit and then go out for a smoke. And I'd essentially and then every time I'd go out for a smoke, I'd smoke like 4 cigarettes, like in a row. And then I'd come back inside and. Were
you lighting the next cigarette with the previous cigarette?
No, I had a lighter on hand, but man, there was a point where I was like consciously being like, I think I'm stuck with this fucking thing. I don't think I can get off of it. Like I just want them too much. But then at the same time, I could also go, there would be periods of time where I could go maybe about 3 or 4 days without smoking any cigarettes. But then if I got a pack, I'd smoke like the whole thing, like pretty much in one sitting. And I was like, this isn't normal. I got a fucking problem here. But then I kind of just like forgot about it for a while. And then I'd seen The Insider before, back when I first saw like, I think Miami Vice.
The movie?
The movie. I think that I immediately wanted to find, like, I wanted to watch more Michael Mann stuff, and I ended up watching The Insider. And I remember liking it, but kind of being disappointed that it wasn't more like Miami Vice or Thief or something. But then I watched it again, like relatively recently, like within the last year. And it's something about it. I'm not saying that if you watch The Insider, this will happen to you. But I think something like a combination of like my particular situation, my age, and that film, something clicked in my head where I was like, oh, I'm never smoking a fucking cigarette ever again. And it fully cured me of smoking cigarettes. Knock on wood. I mean, that only lasts as long as, until you smoke another one. But I confidently think that I don't think I ever will smoke again because, I've been like out all night drinking, surrounded by people smoking, and I just look at them now with disdain. And I try to, like the last thing that people want to hear when you're out drinking is, hey, you shouldn't fucking smoke cigarettes. You should watch the fucking Insider. That's the last thing anyone wants to hear. The only people I tell about that are people who aren't smoking. I'll go up to someone who's out there who's not smoking like me, and I'll be like, hey, you don't smoke, do you? And they're like, no. I was like, I used to, but I watched this movie called The Insider. You ever seen it? And then I'll talk a little bit about The Insider. Most people just haven't seen it because most people just don't watch movies,
Right.
or if they do, they don't remember. Like they might just be like, I don't know, maybe I did. Like, why are you talking to me? Who are you?
Well, I remember when this movie came out, and I was resistant to seeing it because it felt like it was just going to be this kind of didactic, like don't smoke, and it just felt like it was going to be a lecture.
No. Like it's that.
Well, I'm just saying that's what I thought, without even having seen it. That's just what I thought.
That's weird.
And so I avoided it. But then at some point, I think I was living in Seattle, and I started watching it fairly late at night, and I thought like, okay, well, I'll watch like the first 30 minutes of it and maybe pass out, to see what this is. And I was completely swept up into it, and I just thought like, this movie's fucking great. It's just great. It was not a lecture at all, which, I feel like if this movie was made today, that's probably what it would be, because that's all movies are now.
Yeah.
But it's just a great conspiracy thriller.
And the smoking, the whole sort of tobacco smoking aspect of it is entirely incidental. Like it could be about anything, but
Right.
it just happens to be
but
about
it happens to be about like corporate, in this particular case, and they bring that up in the movie where there's sort of like, I'm trying to think, like they bring up another industry, and there's sort of like, yeah, the tobacco industry has never lost a single.
Oh, they're talking about like the automotive industry, and
right.
how,
So
like
with when people would sue a car maker, a particular car maker, for like, making
seat belts,
like there's no seatbelt in the car, the seatbelts aren't working or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And these car companies would have to pay all these lawsuits for people that would get hurt in the car. Tobacco companies would make it very difficult to prove that they had anything to do with people dying of cancer or getting any kind of health issues directly due to the cigarettes. That had always been very difficult to prove. And it seemed like their fortune was something that at that time was like completely unmatched. And they had an arsenal of lawyers and PR people that, at their fingertips to keep any kind of an investigation or any criticism at bay.
Yeah, they tie you up. Well, I mean, this is all kind of delivered in dialogue at Al Pacino. Al Pacino and Christopher Plummer are, and some woman and another guy. They're sitting at the table and they're trying to crack the story, like trying to figure out how they're going to approach it.
Right.
And this all gets sort of like delivered in incidental dialogue, where it's like, oh yeah, like the tobacco or this. What's the fucking the company specifically? It's
the one that Wygan works for.
Yeah,
it's like a made up cigarette company. Like it's like Brown and
Williamson.
Yeah,
they say like, oh yeah, Brown and Williamson, spend like $300 million on outsourced legal every year or something, just to keep people, as you say, at bay, whether it be to just sort of get cases thrown out, or to just tie people up in expensive litigation procedures, so that normal people can't keep up with. And then same thing with class action lawsuits. They are able to kind of like fuck those up in some way. They these guys are professional. Just professional, like defensemen, like
Right.
defense linemen.
Well, it's sort of like, well, and one of the things I do like about the movies, like the beginning sequence where Al Pacino is blindfolded and being taken to talk
Iran,
to talk to some Iranian or whatever
yeah, Ayatollah.
is Islamic sheik, and just like very dangerous situation that he's sort of like putting himself in to get a story. And showing Mike Wallace kind of like they're like threatening Mike Wallace, and Mike Wallace is like "fuck you," and to kind of show like these are like real no nonsense journalists, like this is like real journalism,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, he's the leader.
confronting
He's meeting the leader of Hezbollah. But
right,
go on.
and this is like really no nonsense journalism, and they're like looking into the face of a real terrorist organization, very very dangerous, very scary, and then juxtaposing that with these journalists now they're confronted with an American cigarette company, tobacco company, and how this is what makes them buckle, because these are very scary people and very slick, slippery, dangerous people, maybe more dangerous than these terrorist organizations.
I'd say, yes, they are.
And I even like how like the first shot of the movie is we're basically behind a blindfold, like we're looking into the blindfold,
Yeah.
and the whole point of the idealistic point of journalism is to take the blindfold off and show you the truth, and that is that had been the point of 60 Minutes up until this.
Up until what?
Up until this happened with the, when they were up against the tobacco companies, and then they buckled.
Right. Yeah. That's so funny to think that like 60 Minutes on CBS was like was actually something. Was an entity that you could count on to serve
Well,
like the public.
well, I mean, I think the media has been degraded throughout, throughout time, but I think there was a point prior to the internet where the newspapers were an important, journalists took the job seriously, and this literally was the only way that you were going to get the truth about what was going on in the world, was
Yeah, I know, but it's
through these places. But they've been degraded, and for various reasons. And
I don't think it's like, well, I mean, I'm not sure what your implication is. Bringing up the internet, but it's like the three, ABC, NBC, CBS. That's like your like your monolithic kind of information dissemination apparatus, let's say.
well,
And
that's true, but also people forget newspapers, and newspapers they used to be a big deal.
yeah,
And they're not anymore. And a lot of the kids listening don't realize that. And I'm bringing up the internet because that's the reason why there's no more newspapers. And so and even in the point of one of the plot points of the story is where Al Pacino starts using the newspapers to his benefit to get CBS to buckle. Like newspapers had like that was something that you could do back then, and there were other movies that would kind of use that as a plot point, like this person, if they're exposed by the the news, like even like something like All the President's Men, that the problem is solved. Like the hero is the journalist who exposes the truth in the newspaper. Um, that doesn't really happen much anymore.
Hmm. Yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that like um, ABC, CBS, and NBC, like uh, I once in a while I'll catch like some YouTube video or whatever talking about like you know the uh, it's a very light little historical thing about kind of like the creation of TGIF Friday on I guess that was NBC or maybe it was ABC, but it's like like just these guys in a boardroom kind of like putting it together, like how are we going to put this together, and it's like oh yeah, it turns out that everyone likes Full House, so let's maybe we can make some kind of like or Perfect Strangers. What if we find the cop from Perfect Strangers and we do a black family, it's all very like obviously it's very profit driven. They're driven entirely by what people are going to watch, and what like sort of they're driven also by sort of like the zeitgeist of America, kind of like what are people into, what are people going to respond to.
Right.
But then there's also there is very much so this component that is to uh, drive a certain narrative in terms of what one should aspire to, like in terms of like uh, you should probably want to have a family. You should probably want to have a house and live this way. Like there is
Well,
sort of
are you talking about the network in general, or are you talking about the news organizations?
the
Because I
network,
feel like
the network.
in a lot of cases, and this is even something that's brought up in this movie,
Yeah,
that there's CBS
yeah,
and then there's CBS News,
yeah.
and the fact that CBS, like that's part of the story, is that the network is saying like, you do this story, it's going to be big trouble, and they're even saying like,
Is that's
you
that's
guys
Gina
you got
Gershon is from the network. Gina Gershon's
well,
character.
she's like a lawyer
Oh,
working for
right,
the network.
right,
So, and also the bald guy with the beard, I guess, was like the network. So the
right.
network is saying like, we're telling you need to do this, to drop the story, edit the story, whatever. And Al Pacino is kind of like, this is unprecedented. Like this has never happened before. We've been like, even though this is CBS News, we've been sort of like a separate entity under the umbrella of CBS, but the network itself has never told us to kill a story.
Yeah,
So that I think that there was a time when news. I'm not saying like it was 100% pure, but I think that it was more likely to be on the side of like uh, trying to expose real truths and stories more so than it became. I think that eventually things got manipulated and watered down, but I don't
yeah.
think it was always the case.
No, that like you're like you're getting to sort of where I was going to get to, like
Okay.
the because like the network has like a vested interest in you know maintaining the status quo. Uh, there is, I mean, like as you get older, you really when you start breaking it down, like network TV was was really like sort of a like not to be too much of a fucking you know not to be like the guy from Rage Against the Machine or anything, but like it really is a way to sort of like placate the population and to kind of just get everyone kind of on the same page and thinking the same way and working the same way and aspiring for the same things, and it's a kind of light mind control. network television, and but then also like under that umbrella, you also have sort of these news divisions, as you stated, and like there is a certain amount of autonomy because there's what do you call that, the fifth estate, the fourth estate, which estate is it, which is the news, like there's a constitutional protection for like the news, and that is is it which one does it really matter? I think it's but do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Hold on. The Fifth Estate. We'll start with that one. Oh shit, that's the name of a movie too. What is meant by the Fifth Estate? Okay, so the Fifth Estate is a term used to describe alternative, non-mainstream media. That's fucking the internet. But so I guess what I'm talking about is the Fourth Estate.
Fourth Estate.
the fourth kind. Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. Fourth Estate.
What's the first estate?
I don't know. Yeah, so the
second estate.
So the Fourth Estate refers to the news media and the press, and that's a constitutional protection. Like, you know, your founding fathers saw the value in there being an independent entity that would that would have the freedom to report truthfully on the goings on of the world,
right?
Right, and that's just like just like something that's important for like this idea of like a free country. Like you need to have the freedom to look into stuff and not be steamrolled by people in power.
And that's kind of like a cool part of the movie too, when again Gina Gershon comes in and says like, well, you know, he's this insider guy, he's under like a non-disclosure agreement, and if he talks on the air, then we actually can be sued, especially if he's telling the truth speaking against this company, then we can be sued because that damages the company. Like it was like this weird, like bizarre legalese that undercuts the power of the press. That is probably one of the reasons why things are fucked up.
To answer your question, these estate delineations, they all come from like French government. First estate is like the clergy, is the church. Okay. Second estate is nobility. Third estate is like is the largest one, the general population. Then the fourth estate is the news media, and the fifth estate is a new edition that takes into account
the new edition with Bobby Brown.
Yeah. Fuck, I was about to sing a song, but I can't even. I just got a blank. I was going to start singing CNC Music Factory. Everybody dance now.
Close enough.
Yeah. So no, the fifth estate is like the internet. It's like the new. It's like the new.
And the sixth estate is pornography.
The sixth estate is like is virtual reality. The sixth estate is when you put on the virtual reality helmet and suck a guy's penis.
It's trans pornography. It's the sixth estate.
but then like that actually raises like an interesting question, because it's like, you know, okay, so why is the network getting involved? Why is the network sending Gina Gershon? I mean, we are getting ahead of ourselves. We haven't even started talking. We haven't even mentioned Russell Crowe yet. Right. But why is the network, CBS, getting involved in CBS News? Like, why are they sending in Gina Gershon to fuck with them? Who's breathing down the neck of the network? Well, it's the fucking tobacco company. It's the tobacco company. So, you know, and so the question is kind of like, what has changed? You know, like you alluded before, you were like, you know, prior to this, you know, like there was a time when, you know, you really could count on I'm going to use the term the fourth estate. You really could count on the fourth estate to have the freedom to deliver the news to the public. And so what has changed? What's the difference? And it's like, well, The difference is when you deregulate a company to the point where they can become this immensely powerful, and they can actually start putting pressure on places where previously there had been guardrails, and
Right.
all of a sudden, this network, they're like, well, you guys actually can't fucking do that because there's constitutional protection. They're just kind of like, yeah, well, we have lobbyists working on that right now, and and we're also going to bribe you, and like there's a number of things that they can do, and then
Right.
next thing you know, all of a sudden, you start to see the chinks in the armor of sort of a monolithic
Right. The
media
Asians.
apparatus. Say again?
You're talking about the Asians.
No, I knew you were going to say that because I said the word chink. I actually almost said it with expecting you to say that. But it's about just like sort of American the deregulation of an American corporation, causing it to
allowing the
become too
chinks
powerful.
to enter into the armor. That's into the armory.
I had somebody yesterday on the phone say to me, I was saying, oh, China's big in the news. People like there's a lot of people like having good feelings about China these days. And then he was like, yeah, like he said sarcastically, I heard that if you don't own property in China, you're a fucking retard. Like, haha. And I was in my mind, I was like, this guy doesn't even know. This guy doesn't even know that you can't own property in China.
You can't own property.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember? There's this basketball player Yao Ming.
Yao Ming, yeah.
And I think it was Yao Ming, but it was like some Asian basketball player, and one of the announcers was commenting on, because I guess he was playing really well, and then like there was something he was doing, he was fucking up, or things weren't working out on the court, and the announcer was like, "Oh, I think there's a chink in his armor."
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't Yao Ming. That was Jeremy Lin.
Okay, so then like there was all this like outcry, like, "Oh my god, he used the word chink."
Yeah.
And I don't know if he still was working, but just like everybody fucking lost their mind. They're like, what did he mean by that? He used a slur against this guy.
And you know what? I don't think that was an announcer. I think that was a newspaper headline.
Okay.
And in that case, I do agree with the people who are critical of that journalist or whatever. You know why? Because if it was an announcer, then whatever, your turn of phrase comes to mind. But when you're fucking like vetting the headline for an article, it's like, do you think that there might be a problem here? Like we have CHINK in bold fucking copper plate letters.
This chink, and then in the literally small type in the armor.
Yeah. I don't buy that for 1 second that it was. Oh, what the hell? It's a. Say what?
Yeah, had a chink in his armor. What the fuck?
Yeah, you're always going to stand on the side of the casual racist. I mean, normally I would too. Like if it's funny,
that's going to be on my gravestone. Johnny Ryan. Johnny Ryan, the casual racist.
Yeah, casual racist, lover of his country.
White Power Ranger.
Right, white Power Ranger, compulsive masturbator.
The seventh column.
Member of the third estate. So we have Russell Crowe in I would say one of his very best performances.
I actually think this is you could argue this is a sequel to Romper Stomper.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I think at the end where he actually survives and moves to Louisiana, wherever.
Well, he's in upstate New York. He's a New York guy. He's like
but isn't his house in the Wigan house? Isn't it like in Kentucky, or where's he working at the tobacco place?
I'm not sure, but I do know that his maybe you're right. Maybe that does make sense. Like if you worked at a tobacco company, you'd be in one of those states.
I think it was like a southern state.
But he is like a New York guy, like his accent and everything. Russell Crowe's got a great accent in this. You know what's fucking weird, and I think that people have talked about this a little bit, but not a lot. In the new Christopher Nolan movie, The Odyssey, they don't use like what's the word that people use sometimes? Like uh, I can't think of the word. I want to. I'm going to say archaic. It's not quite the right word, but like they use sort of an archaic like British accent for stuff like this. Obviously, people aren't going to be talking in British accents in ancient Greece, but
Right.
for a movie like this, like when you do like Troy or something, everyone's like you killed my father. Now everyone talks in
Right.
in a British accent because it adds like an antiquity to the whole fucking
You're
thing.
right. Sounds like a Shakespeare play.
But what they do in the Odyssey is they just have everybody speak in American accents, and that includes Tom Holland and
Robert
and
Pattinson.
your boy Robert Pattinson. They even get them to speak in American accents, and I'm thinking to myself, what's the reasoning here? Why would they do that? And also, is this effective? Does this take me like out of it, or does it or is it working better? Like I'm not really sure. I don't think it took me out of it for the Odyssey, but I remember watching the Willow TV show. Remember the TV show? Remember the movie Willow? I think it was like
I remember, and I never saw it.
Okay,
I
well,
was a gay.
okay, well, there was a movie called Willow, and it was gay, and they made a TV show of it like a few years ago, maybe like 2023 or some shit. And
that's what everybody's waiting for.
Yeah, exactly.
When are they going to make a TV show out of this? Like the movie was so great. We need a TV show.
I like the movie. I think the movie's a good sort of kids fantasy movie, but but with a little bit of like
heart.
No, a little bit of heart, but also, I mean, fucking Warwick Davis is like the main character.
Right.
He's pretty likable. Like you get behind him pretty easily. And then, but then what I'm saying is like there's some really like cool monsters and some pretty scary like evil characters and stuff in that movie. Like, like it doesn't really like it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be as creative as it is, and as dark as it is in certain times. But in any case, what they did with the fucking TV show is they had the characters speak in just American accents. And for me, like as soon as like I put on the TV show, I was like, what's going on with this Willow TV show? And they're just speaking like, just like an American television show. And I'm just like this is, I'm just watching people wearing costumes here. This is not.
What, this isn't canon.
Well, no.
This isn't canon, Willow.
I didn't think that. I thought I was just thinking that it doesn't. I'm not transported to like whatever world that they want me to think that this is in. Like
you're like Willow wouldn't talk like this, and then you punch the fucking window.
Yeah, I punch Phoebe.
And Phoebe was like, "No, what are you doing?" And you were like, "Shut up!
Shut up!"
Her.
Slap her. Throw out the window. Throw off the balcony.
Just like fucking Raising Arizona, you just threw her off a cliff.
Yeah, Willow. But then
she goes to work and she's got like a bruise on her face. And I'm like, what happened? Rob was watching the Willow TV show and he got upset.
Yeah, she's in a wheelchair.
He punched me.
She looks like Ernest when she's the old lady when he's the old lady.
Got a neck brace on.
Yeah. Anyways, that's enough goofing around. In the Odyssey, they don't do that.
Let's get serious. Get back to talking about Willow.
Let's get back to talking about the film version of Willow. But no, the Odyssey, like they use American accents, and it sort of works, but you kind of have to get beaten over the head with it. Like it's obviously the production value. Anyways, all I'm thinking is like, what are the implications of this? Like what's changed? Like this is
what kind of accent did who was the rapper in the movie? Ludacris?
yeah no, it's
or 50 Cent.
It's fucking
Chance the Rapper or something.
It's
Tekashi
Tekashi 6ix9ine. No, it's Tekashi 6ix9ine. No, it's Travis Scott.
Lil Kim.
It's Astroworld's Travis Scott.
So what accent did he use?
He just talks like a black guy. It'd be so funny if
just like they did in ancient Greece.
If he couldn't do a British accent, So they just changed the whole thing because of him, like just because of Travis
That's
Scott.
probably that's a good conspiracy theory. I like that.
But he's
We don't
only
want to
in
make
it like
we don't want to make Mr. Scott feel bad. So can we all talk like we're from the Bronx?
he's in it. No, he's from the Bronx. He's from
Where's he
fucking
from?
like Astro.
Cincinnati.
He's from Texas, like
Okay.
Houston, very
From
likely.
Houston. Can everyone talk like they're from Houston? We don't want to make fucking Travis Scott feel bad.
The Bronx. He's only in it for like
I don't know where he's from. What does he play? The Cyclops?
no. They used they got
Afro-Clops?
they got Elliot Page's old vagina lips to make the Cyclops' eye. No,
We need to save some money, so can we borrow your vagina lip collection?
She's like, I got these hanging around. You want to use these? She's got that like trans voice, like kazoo trans voice.
Yeah, how's it going?
Jesus Christ!
Yes.
Oh man,
Give me back my vagina.
Give me back my pussy. But in any case, regarding the accents, yeah, we're talking about Russell Crowe and his New York accent,
Right.
and how
he's good in what's the other movie he did? L.A. Confidential. Like I remember that was the first time I think I had seen him, and I had no idea he was Australian.
yeah, he's an Australian guy, and he's prior to this, I'd always seen him like I always remembered him. I mean, this is pre Gladiator, right? When did Gladiator come out? 2000.
I think this is post Gladiator. Yeah, Gladiator's 2000.
Yeah, Insider's 1999. So this is pre Gladiator.
Okay, so it's pre Gladiator.
Yeah, but prior to this, I mean, we'd seen Russell Crowe in Romper Stomper. Do we ever was he sort of typecast as sort of a tough guy or like a hunk earlier on? I don't really know what's the trajectory of Russell Crowe was.
No, not really. I don't think at least until Gladiator he really wasn't. I'm trying to think of other. I remember seeing a movie where he played a blind guy called Proof.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of other films that he did around that time.
I mean, his big fucking American breakthroughs were in fact L.A. Confidential and The Insider.
Right.
And then prior to that, Romper Stomper in '92 was sort of like the one that kind of put him on the map and probably got him his sort of entry to doing Hollywood films. What were you about to say?
Yeah, in L.A. Confidential, like he's not playing. I mean, he's sort of like a hothead cop, but he's not sort of like. It's not like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon or something.
But he plays like a very sympathetic guy in this film. He's sort of like a nerd, but he's got that sort of New York kind of.
Or like after Gladiator, remember he did another shitty Ron Howard movie, A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Right, where he plays like a
nerd again. Plays a science nerd.
Right. What's the one? Is it kind of like he's like a savant? Is that the way that it works, or is that other movie with Matt Damon?
Well, I don't think he's considered a savant. He was just like a very intelligent science student professor.
Yeah. Guy with a beautiful mind.
And he was like really good at mathematics, but then he has like he has mental problems, and he like has like a complete mental breakdown.
It's too smart.
And then it's sort of like slow climb back to normalcy.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe we'll talk about The Beautiful Mind one of these days. What's that fucking movie where Matt Damon is like he's in
Good Will Hunting?
Good Will Hunting. I always think
Right.
that A Beautiful Mind and Good Will Hunting are the same movie.
Because I never saw Good Will Hunting, but
Me
he's like
neither.
he's like a janitor, but he's secretly a genius, and
Yeah,
he's like solving math problems while all the everybody's sleeping.
yeah. He's like everyone's out of the classroom, and there's like a hard math problem on the chalkboard, and he goes and finishes it, and he's like, hey ma, I just fucking finished the math problem on the board, and then the mother's like, get the fuck back to work, and then Robin Williams is like, I think that I need you to come out of your shell. He's like this sort of he understands that there's like a beautiful mind underneath that rough exterior. Um, and then his friend Ben Affleck is like, look, I'm gonna be here my whole life, but you're going places. You need to listen to Robin Williams. You need to fucking you need to
How do you
do
like them
everything.
apples?
You need to do everything that Robin Williams tells you. Whatever Robin Williams does with his life, you need to do the same thing.
Including hang yourself.
That's where I was going with that. It's what's that movie that Robin Williams did where I think it's called like it was directed by Bobcat Goldthwait and it's called like World's Best Dad
Yeah,
yeah.
that was okay.
Right. I think Bobcat Goldthwait is a fucking crummy director. I think he stinks. He doesn't know how people behave.
I think I would agree with that, but I think he might have had something to do with that Windy City Heat, which is
Oh yeah, that's an anomaly though. That's
a pretty funny movie, but other than that, I don't really care about.
Yeah, no, I mean,
he's done except for like the first couple police academies.
do you remember when Bobcat Goldthwait also did a movie with like Bill Murray's brother, and it's called like it's like it's like a scathing critique of American life. Like it's like this. It's
the
almost
one with like it's like a little girl who's like a fucking bitch and
yeah. That's I think you know the one I'm talking about. But
I remember the trailer, but yeah, that like seemed like so on the nose.
It's just like infuriating,
like liberal.
No. It's not. It's 100% like reactionary, falling down sort of thing. You know, where it's like he's like, why is like it's Bill Murray's brother, right? He's like, why is everyone? What am I doing? Seinfeld, like
who are these people?
What's good? I'll do it. Okay, so I'll do it like Seinfeld. He's like, what's going on? How come how come the burger doesn't look like the same thing as in the picture? The real burger doesn't look like the advertisement. Like that's the kind of shit that's going on in this movie, and like it's very right wing. It's very Republican, and the goddamn the damn blacks are taking over the streets, and the government's giving money to the fucking to these poor people. And look at me, I'm just a white guy trying to make it in the world, and I'm it's so difficult for me, even though I follow the rules. So I'm not going to follow the rules. I'm going to fucking hang out with this stupid bitch girl and go on sort of like a light killing spree. Like, and it's fully like Falling Down, where it's like someone's talking in the movie theater, and he's like, hey, shut up! Don't speak in the movie theater. And it's like, fuck you! What are you gonna do about it? I don't care, And then he's like, oh yeah, and he goes and he shoots the guy in the movie theater. Like it's like that. It's not at all like a liberal thing. It's entirely the opposite. It's fully like falling down politics.
But he's not like he's. I mean, now we're commenting on a movie I've never even seen. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, okay. Well, would you like to continue, or would you rather hold your tongue?
I think it's like sort of pointless. Like, what's the point of like I'm talking about a movie I don't know anything about? So.
Well, I'll cap it off, and I'll just say that like the way that people behave, the way that people speak, the way that people interact is so phony, and that's the Venn diagram intersection of that and World's Greatest Dad is just sort of this phoniness. What do you attribute that to other than poor direction? I think that he's just bad. But then Windy City Heat, that's an entirely different animal, because really what you're doing is you're just sort of you're directing with a much lighter hand, right? Like you're just kind of like it's kind of the way that Howard Stern directs his show. He just kind of gets the right people together and just sort of like nudges them in the right way, and
Right.
then the thing directs
It's
itself.
not a traditional film process.
One of the smartest things that Howard Stern ever did was not direct Private Parts. I think. I think that probably his ego and I mean, I don't know this for sure, but definitely, like, I'm almost certain that he was given the director's offer, but he didn't take it.
Yeah, I think I don't get the sense that he ever considered that, even if
Really?
it was offered. Like, I never got the sense that he had any kind of thought that he could direct a film. Like, he was always very much like, as soon as the movie was happening, and I'm trying to remember the guy's name, who was the director of Animal House.
Ramis, Harold Ramis,
No,
not Joe Dante.
no.
All right, fine. Sorry, man.
That guy, that guy sort of was on board, and it was kind of like at first it was sort of like, is he going to be the director?
Landis,
then-
John Landis.
Well, it's John Landis and the other Canadian guy.
The other Canadian guy.
His son is a director too. His son directed
Reitman.
Juno.
Ivan Reitman.
Ivan Reitman. So Ivan Reitman was on board to like produce, and it seemed like he was going to direct it. But then he kind of pawned it off to Betty Thomas. But you never got the sense that Howard was just like he seemed very reliant on these people to make the film. He at no point did I ever hear him say like, I could do this by myself. I don't need these people. I can direct it. Like,
I heard him talk about that, like, regarding acting. He's like,
acting,
I don't know.
acting is different. Directing, I've never heard him say like, I could direct this or that. With acting though, he's sort of like, I could do that.
Yeah, he's like, it's not hard. I don't know. I just got the sense that, like, you know, I just got the sense because he has directed stuff. Am I wrong? Like, he has directed stuff himself just for the show, like little shorts and stuff. Like, there is sort of that director's.
I mean, directing in the sense of like creating the show and organizing the show.
No. But like
but not
those
directing.
the little short productions that they do occasionally. Like,
he didn't direct any, like all that stuff that he did for E and all the stuff he did for Channel 9. He did not direct any of that.
okay,
He had directors that would direct those shows. He didn't direct them.
Well, my bad. Regardless, like, I think that the reason why that Private Parts is such a successful film, I think it's good. I think that it definitely does the trick, and I think it got a lot of people thinking, maybe getting past their preconceptions about Howard Stern and getting to see the Howard Stern that we all know and love.
Right.
But I think that it's very competently directed, and you get to see a reasonable amount of titty in it.
That's true.
And you get to see Jenna Jameson in it, and also that woman who swallows that giant salami.
Kielbasa Queen.
Yes, the Kielbasa Queen. So, the Insider. This is what happens when we try to do 2 episodes in the same day. We can't really stick on the fucking Insider. They go to his house, like, you know, what the fuck happens? This episode stinks, dude. They go to his house because he tries to blow the whistle on them. They try to fuck with his pension or something, and then he's like, "Oh, well, you know what? I'm gonna fucking quit. I'm gonna talk to 60 Minutes about the ammonia research I've been doing on cigarettes or whatever." And then he starts getting his wife starts getting like emails that are saying like, "We're gonna kill you," and they put bullets in his mailbox and shit.
Right.
And they try to call the police, and then the police show up, and the police actually are working, or the feds, like the FBI, come to help him out, and they end up taking his computer, and he
It just feels like everything's been compromised. By these companies, like the feds, uh, the news. Like you can't. They make it impossible for you to. You have to do what they say, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Or else they go after you just like the mafia does. They go after like your family and stuff, and make you
And
feel
I think like there's a lot of
unsafe.
like the paranoia parts are really good. Like when he's playing golf and
Oh yeah.
there's a guy like playing golf next to him, and
Who the fuck are you?
he's kind of like it kind of was reminding me of like Eyes Wide Shut, where like that type of paranoia. Like, is this person part of the Fidelio group?
Yeah. Yeah. He's at the driving range trying to let off a little steam. There are two parts in this movie that I adore. One of them is the later one is where he's he starts teaching high school, and there's that. Well, this is not one of the parts, but there's a part where he's teaching, like where he goes to he's his first day in class, and he's surrounded by a bunch of teenagers, and they're all kind of like looking at him, sort of smirking, and he introduces himself, and he kind of establishes himself as just sort of like a genuine cool guy, and you get the sense that like, okay, you know what, he might make actually quite a good chemistry teacher, because he gives a nice little sort of opening speech, and the class you get the sense too that the class are kind of like, okay, we like this guy.
He breaks the ice.
He breaks the ice nice. He breaks the ice nice like ice, and then
nice like an ice agent.
And you get the sense like okay, he might have some some happiness in this career. I mean, his wife has just left him, taking the kids. Has she done that at this point, or does that happen later? Fulfillment is the word I was looking for. He might get some fulfillment out of this teaching gig, but while he's doing that, the tobacco company, they basically get a bunch of private investigators to start digging up dirt on him. Oh, he has a shoplifting charge. Oh, he looked at some. That they say, oh, they're gonna find out every moment that you fucking looked at another woman's tits. They're gonna find out when you did it, and they're gonna make that information public. It doesn't matter how squeaky clean you live your life. These people
very reminiscent of that fucking movie we just watched,
Blind Fury. One. Which one? Beowulf?
Clint Eastwood movie.
Oh, I don't recall. Which was the one that we watched again? Oh yeah, Richard Jewell.
So Richard Jewell was like that. That was like the same thing. Like, tell me everything that you fucking ever did in your whole life. I didn't do nothing, and then it turns out that like he's done stuff, and then there's the moment of like, wow, you got to tell me everything, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's just like it's just this fucking podcast. Like, we've said stuff on this podcast already that could destroy my career.
Yeah, and well, you're the only one with a career.
Yeah, you're everybody. All the stuff. You're a Gen Xer, so like you being kind of like, sticking to your guns is sort of like people expect that and want that from you. Okay. Whereas me, like I don't have the same.
Put those guns down. You drop your guns immediately.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So there's there's that part, but that's not the part I'm talking about. I'm talking about when he goes to the bar. This is my second favorite part of the movie, and the first I'll say later. I think you know what the first is. Everyone's favorite part of the movie is the same part, but there's a part where he goes and he sits down at a bar and he's looking at the TV, and he's had kind of a rough day. At this point, his wife has left him. She's taken the kid.
Oh, you're talking about when he pushes his plate of food away?
Yeah. I love that, man. That's there's so much weight to that, and like I can relate to that so much. To just sitting down, I don't have a lot of fucking ability to have pleasure in my life these days. I'm not feeling so good, but I can at least sit down at the fucking bar and I can have a drink. And I can enjoy like some
beautiful hamburger,
a burger, some fucking steak fries.
It's got a big glass of ice cold beer right there.
Then on the TV, it's like, oh, by the way, fucking the
Insider guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Him. He's gay, and
we found out that he sucked the guy's dick, and then he looks up the TV and he's just like, fuck, and he pushes the plate away. He's completely lost his appetite. I relate to that so much. What a fantastic scene that is. It's brilliant. It's so relatable. And then of course the best.
I don't
scene,
think I've ever done that, but
you've never done that before.
Oh, I've never pushed a fucking burger away in my life.
You've never been hit with something that you just lost your appetite to that degree, where you were hungry and ready to fucking eat, and then all of a sudden you get hit with some bad news, and all of a sudden
maybe if the food was like gross, but if it was a beautiful hamburger and
have you ever been sick to your stomach?
I would have muscled through it.
Have you ever been instantly sick to your stomach with anxiety?
Sure.
But you can relate to it.
But I never get hit with it while I'm as I'm right about to eat a big, beautiful hamburger.
Well, see, this is what you call cinema. It's putting together a scene to accentuate the point you're trying to make, right?
Usually, those are moments that happen between meals.
Okay, well that's good that you've lived a very fortunate life then to have those moments happen between meals. The best part of the film, of course, is the scene of the deposition in Mississippi with Wings Hauser. As the tobacco lawyer, as the unnamed tobacco lawyer who keeps saying objection, and then who's that actor who plays like his lawyer?
D-Day from Animal House.
D-Day from Animal House, played by, of course, oh yeah, it is him. Look how young he was. Bruce McGill is the name of the actor.
Okay.
But
D-Day versus Ramrod in a legal showdown.
D-Day, aka Bruce McGill, is defending Russell Crowe, and he wants to take his deposition. This is about how he his extent of knowledge of the kind of research they were doing on using ammonia in tobacco.
It's some kind of loophole thing where they're trying to get around the non-disclosure agreement that he made with the company. I guess if he does some sort of legal testimony, if he's obligated to testify legally, then he's then able to talk to the press about it or something. Like there's some kind of legalese in that.
Yeah, it has to do. It all boils down to the NDA that he signed, and right. And the fact that they're doing it they're doing this out of state in Mississippi, in the sovereign state of Mississippi. In the sovereign state of Mississippi is significant because Wings Hauser keeps trying to get this guy to shut up, and basically saying, you're gonna fucking regret it. And he's smarmy as hell. But boy, oh boy, does Bruce McGill ever get him to wipe his smirk off his face in right. a line that resounded throughout the theater. I never saw this. You never saw this in the theater, did you?
Yeah, I saw it later on video. Well, another thing I like about the movie too, it's like it has almost like it's long. It's like over 2.5 hours long, but it kind of has two parts to it. And the first part is getting Jeffrey Wigan to, get on board and tell his story, like dealing with all the threats and the all the bullshit, and finally getting him to tell his story and reveal his story. And then the second part of the movie is basically CBS itself trying to shut down the story, and Al Pacino sort of playing Lowell Bergman. He's like a real old school journalist. He's got a picture of Geronimo on his wall. He's sort of like all about the little guy, fighting for the little guy, and so now he's dealing with CBS trying to crush his story and fighting against the CBS lawyers.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Rip Torn shows up in this too. Who does he play?
Like he's only in it for like 2 seconds. Like there's like I just remember him in a helicopter or a limousine with um uh the guy, like one of the 60 Minutes guys.
Okay,
Like it's very brief.
Rip Torn as the bellhop.
And then Dumbledore is the head of the tobacco company, evil head of the tobacco company.
Evil Dumbledore. I don't even know who that is. What's like? I guess it's some kind of guy who looks like a old man, like a wizard kind of looking guy.
Well, he doesn't look like a wizard here, but he's the guy. He's the guy who brings Wygan in his office and like starts talking about his golf game, and then he's just like, "You need to sign. We know you signed a non-disclosure agreement. You need to sign a super duper non-disclosure agreement."
Right. Yeah, that's what sets the whole thing off.
That
That's the thing.
guy's Dumbledore.
That's the thing about this character. He is sort of a mild mannered guy, but like his sort of resistance. What's that word? Like recalcitrance or something. What's that word? Do you know that what I'm talking about?
I don't know
There's
what
like
you're trying to say.
okay. There's like a word recalcitrance or some shit. Doesn't matter. Resistance. His resistance to being kind of like bullied around. Like
Well, he even says that he doesn't like being pushed around.
right. That coupled like with his with this sort of New York accent and it makes for like a pretty endearing character. Like I found myself being very in the corner of Russell Crowe in this movie, and that there are these great parts. One of which being the part where he pushes his food away, and also the part where he tries to chase down his desktop computer and he falls on his lawn. Just like he just he
falls
looks,
like this.
he looks stupid a lot in this movie. He gets fucked with a lot in this movie, and you feel it and you relate to it, and we all know what it's like to be kind of like under someone's thumb. We've all been there, like in our lives. So I don't know. That's the big driving power of this film. I'll say is just sort of this like you get behind this guy who's just sort of picked a fight with a very powerful enemy, and then he's got Al Pacino who's his only lifeline, and a lot of the time, and they're at odds a lot of the time because Russell Crowe thinks that Al Pacino has sold him out, and
Right.
that's sort of the game that the tobacco company is playing too.
Well, there is something. Is Al Pacino, is he legitimate, or is he just trying to get ratings?
Well, that's the thing.
He's trying to figure him out.
He cares about the story. He's always just going to care about the story more, but at the same time, he makes a good point. He says like, why would I, you haven't given me anything yet. Why would I sell you out before you've even given me anything? Like
Right.
my commitment is to the story.
But also he has that moment in the hotel room with Mike Wallace later on, played by Christopher Plummer, and saying like, I've never broken the trust between me and somebody giving me information, an informant. Now, suddenly, like I'm breaking the trust, and I'm having a very difficult time living with that.
Right. So yeah, it does. I mean, it doesn't go. You compare this to something like Richard Jewell, which I do believe has a lot of similarities in terms of
Right.
like the smearing of a guy, and this one's a lot more realistic insofar as how it's sort of messy. Like it doesn't end up. It does. It's not like, you know, all right, we got the fucking story on the air. All right, everyone, yeah, and it's and everyone cheers and they won in the end. Like there is sort of like a bit of a messier, more ending that is sort of smeared with all sorts of compromises and
Yeah, it's not like tied up in a nice little bow at the end. Like, I mean, he was able to get the story on, but you don't get the sense that like you get the sense like this is just a new world now. This isn't like the problem wasn't solved.
yeah. This like it's they were able to get the story on, but this is the beginning of a new era where
Right.
companies just get to stomp and tromp over all of these I don't know, like constitutional kind of um, rights. I don't know that just all these things that you thought were in place and immovable. We're finding out that they are indeed movable, and it's all just a numbers game. It's whoever's got the most money can decide what the fucking what reality is, what the news is,
Well, I mean,
and
like, yeah, if you have enough money, then you're able to play the system the way you want. And if you're just like a little guy and don't have any money, then you're just sort of left subject to the whims of whatever these people want to do. Not, and it also shows that, like, the law is, it's just a toy that these people are able to just manipulate and tweak to their benefit because they have money.
yeah, that's what you call the law of the jungle.
Right.
Um, and we could all take a page from
Ellen Page.
we could all take a
Elliot Page.
page we could all take a page from Elliot Page, and also the People's Republic of China, because they have set up a system.
Yeah, they don't have any problems over there.
They have set up a system to avoid. Well, the government will fucking break into your house and arrest you without due process and
Right.
illegal or what we would what you guys would consider illegal seizures in the USA. But what's good about it is that you're not going to see that happening from a private corporation.
From Nestle.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to be getting. You're not.
McDonald's isn't going to be breaking into your house and stealing your computer.
Well, Nestle was
Yet.
funnier. Nestle was funnier. I like that more. We're from the Nestle Corporation. We're gonna ruin your life. We're gonna send a guy out to rape your wife with fucking
You're going to leave bullets in your mailbox.
yeah with Nestle Quick. We're gonna rub Nestle Quick all over your daughter's face when she's at school. Anyways, fuck. Sorry about the sort of the bullshitty kind of unfocused episode here, guys. The Insider really does deserve better. But that this is
We've been doing this for so long. We're getting all fucked up.
I just woke up. I gotta fucking take a dump too. I think it's probably time for me to tap out. But yeah,
I like this movie. It's a great movie. It's sort of an unusual movie for Michael Mann to do. He's not usually doing these types of movies, but this is a great one. Everybody in it is great.
Yeah,
it's solid. I'm gonna give it 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it even one more half, 4.5, because I do think that if you're in the right, I think it's an important movie. I think that it's like it tells a story that has been told. Like I'm like off the top of my head, like something like the People versus Larry Flint, or I don't know, or maybe like one of those fucking like Thank You for Smoking movies, or like that's sort of a similar thing too, but in a different way.
Yeah, but the thing, like, this movie's not. I don't find this movie to be didactic at
No.
all. It's not like you're getting a lecture about like whether it's about smoking or about like corporations bad.
Yeah.
The individual people good. It's a great thriller. It moves. Like, this is like this guy just knows what he's doing. He knows how to make a film entertaining, and the fact that like it's about this particular subject is, he weaves it into a fascinating story. And yeah, I never get the sense that like I'm being sort of given some kind of lecture about, oh, this is America sucks and big business and corporations. Like, it's just a great story.
Yeah. The word I was trying to think about before was recalcitrant.
Recalcitrant.
It means resistant, but I like using
recalcitrant.
Recalcitrant. That's what you call Elliot Page's situation. So 4.5 for me. Like I said, it's like it's the best one of those kinds of movies, like of those kinds of like the people versus whatever. It doesn't. I can't think of a better one. Really.
Like a movie about like an important sort of real social event. This is definitely like one of the best.
Yeah,
there's genre.
Disclaimer: there is a heavy dose of fictionalization in this, but I think
you don't watch this thinking you're getting a documentary. It's a movie.
But you do trust the filmmaker, like you do trust the filmmakers to kind of at least catch the essence, like for example, when we talked about Richard Jewell, what's the name of that bitch? The Olivia Wilde's character.
Right.
Like there was, you pointed out that there was some discrepancy in terms of like what she was really like and how she was portrayed in like the other documentary, and also sort of like, how she ended up dying of like some drug overdose or something, and like
right.
It got me thinking, like, I wonder how much her character was kind of shifted and molded to just sort of be whatever the story kind of needed her to be. You're going to have that happen. You're going to always have that happen in movies, but I don't know. There's something about The Insider that just it's got a great. The message comes through loud and clear, and like,
right.
and it's very. Like I said before, I feel like it's an important film to watch. Like it's also coming out in 1999. I feel like it might have been a somewhat eye-opening to some people. I don't think that people had. Well, I don't know. Fuck. What the hell do I know? What the hell was I doing in 1999? Probably jerking off. Was I 18? Yeah, man, those were the days.
I mean, I think like that information was coming out about what was going on with the cigarette companies. But again, like I said earlier, when the movie came out, I thought like, oh, we're gonna, this is just gonna be like a 3-hour lecture on like cigarette companies bad, and they're putting shit in the cigarettes to get you to smoke them. It's just like, no shit. If that's what this movie was, then it would be fucking dumb. But it's not that at all. It's there's so much more going on.
Yeah,
it's terrific.
Yeah, yeah.
Like even just looking at it as like this is like a corporate like thriller.
It's like it's I think it's better than Michael Clayton, but it's like a Michael Clayton.
Never saw Michael Clayton.
Maybe we should talk about Michael Clayton next time.
Okay.
But I think that's probably the closest. Like what you're talking about, like what you like about this movie, just sort of like this corporate thriller that feels very rooted in reality, with sort of realistic, cool characters that you get behind. Michael Clayton's probably the closest that I can think of to The Insider. But anyways, that's it. Thanks everybody.
All right, bye.
We appreciate your time. Bye bye.